a while, okay? So I don't be disruptive with wordy. So don't ask me questions, Jane. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, we heard it, Fiona, thank you. Okay, so as I was saying, we have here with us Fiona from Mobilize, walking on the streets of Stockholm. We have Jenny from Wild Crowd, and we have Lena for Girls Code. And this is our third joint meeting for the Pentagrowth model. So I was thinking to begin with Jenny and with the first question about what we talked the last week regarding the platform we are developing. So we were wondering, did you have the chance to talk with the team and decide if you are going to develop your own platform or you are going to use to open source it?
We discussed only via our Podium platform because, as I told you, one member of our team was not with us due to some business trip that he had to go. So we are planning this Tuesday finally to meet as a team. But we discussed it via comments of our Podio platform. And now they are discussing, they also saw the benefits of the open source again, and one of our team members, Francis, who is responsible to discuss with the developers, have transferred all this data to the developers, and they are all looking for a possible open source finally to minimize the cost of the platform building, which is one of the greatest challenges, as we discussed in our previous hangout, one of the greatest challenges of our project.
Okay, so it is great to hear that you already started talking about that. Okay, and now I was thinking that maybe Lena, because we didn't get the chance to know you better and to hear a few words about your project, maybe you would like to introduce it a bit to us?
Yes, I will try to introduce it a bit. Girls Code was born, I think it was about 2 years ago already, when we met on the Coursera course about social entrepreneurship. There were several people, yeah, I think about 9 people, but in the end, the most active ones are me and Lorena, and we have one more girl we're talking to. She was with us before, and then she dropped out from, she lives in Sweden. So I can say that 2 + 1, yeah. Those who are continuing the project. If I will come down to the point what we're doing now and what our challenges is, like it's not the challenge, but it makes it, yeah, but I think for others also, we live in different countries. Lorena is in Spain, I'm in Norway. So yes, this can be, sometimes it's a challenge, yeah, to communicate and yeah, to be present together in some calls like that, for example. But otherwise, yeah, it's going okay. We are not very, I cannot say we're very aggressive. We're taking it like step by step, not pushing ourselves too much because yeah, she has a job, Lorena, I have a job and kids and so on. So, and there's so far like, yeah, 2 + 1. So yeah, this is like limited resources. So we are doing things little by little, but not like 8 hours per day, so to say.
You said that the team is already created, have been created 2 years ago. So maybe you can tell us what you did so far. At what stage are you with the Girls Code platform?
Yeah, there are 2 things. One thing is administration. We created legally an organization in Norway, but it's NGO, non-profit organization. There were a lot of discussions back and forth whether it should be for-profit or non-profit, but so far it's non-profit. And Lorena is working hard to establish the same organization in Spain as a branch for the Norwegian one. So in this way, it's like, yeah, it became easier because we're official and we can, yeah, be an actor in the environment officially. But as for the platform, we we haven't yet created the physical platform and website, yeah, for ourselves, because we can do it. It's not like a problem, but we don't feel we're ready. Just we want to be a little bit more ready to have something like that. And the main challenge for us is that we want to provide mentoring mostly to the girls, yeah, because there are a lot of open source courses about coding. So that's not very difficult to find or to connect them to your platform. But the problem is, yeah, it's always the lack of mentors or coaches that are helping girls on the way, or women on the way. And the challenge is to find good mentors in both countries or several countries, maybe not only Spain, and to keep them and to motivate them working. So because either it's a voluntary job or it's paid job. So these are the the questions that we're working on now, and I see it personally as one of the main challenges for the success of their idea, at least. Yeah.
I have a question because from the profile that you have in Babele, I understood that you want to create a mobile platform to teach the girls coding. But from Gabriella's feedback that she has given you, she said support your offline activities. So I was wondering, do you already have offline activities or supporting girls who code?
We are in the start phase of that, because Lorena is organizing her own offline activities in Spain with girls, and I'm starting up in Norway. I'm just on the verge of starting up this physical collection of girls in my small place where I live, because I live in a very small place and far up north in northern Norway, very far from the main place and main amount of people. So I'm going to start my own, we can call it the offline club or place where girls can come and teach. But actually, we were thinking that we haven't yet decided which is our main activity, or the mentoring or teaching them, because it should be combined. But I see that mentoring is more our core activity than teaching, or being with these girls offline. But we are starting this up and parallel, so to say, in Spain and in Norway.
Yeah. So the question would be, if the main activity, so if you started mainly through the physical being there and using already existing tools and teaching tools how to code that are already developed, and beyond that you are there to mentor them, or if it is building an app specifically for them. So I think that's a very important question that you need to strategically ask yourself.
Completely agree, and thank you for that, because this is very important, and I think that we are going to use the existing resources and supplement it with mentoring, coaching, as I see it now, at least at this stage.
Okay, so in this case, what would be the way to support your activity? So in this case, a business model. Yeah, would you charge the girls for the mentoring sessions?
This was a very good question, which we also discussed several times back and forth. Originally, we want to either make some of the courses for free, because we're also non-profit, so this is also shown that we really want to do something, not for money for these girls, or if we charge something, we charge a very low cost. So then comes the question about financing. Being a non-profit organization can help. That's why we decided to start with non-profit, because you're eligible to support from the government, both in Norway and in Spain, if you're non-profit that can finance your activities. Because if you're for profit, it's much more difficult to get any type of support. But it has to be tested. We haven't tested yet how it goes. I can assume that, especially on the mentor side, if there will be more mentors, some of them, or maybe a lot of them, will want some type of compensation, and then there starts the question of revenues, yeah, and where and how you can get the money, because I think so, at least now. But we want to have it for free or for very low money for the girls. That's at least a wish.
So the objective of this course was to make it as interactive as possible. So I don't want to bombard you with a lot of questions. And yeah, if somebody else has questions like Jenny or Fiona, it would be interesting to exchange between you. Otherwise, I would continue. You know, it's hard to stop
I
me.
understand. Well, thank you for all the questions. They're important, and make us think, or me think, and questions and interests are always important. So I'm not scared.
How about the people that you will be you are planning to have as mentors? Did you think about them? How will you be contacting them? Who will these people be?
Aha, another good question. And I think it is one of the most important, because if this is the main activity or main thing, that who are the mentors is going to be very important for the result of the whole thing. Since we're talking about getting women or girls to learn and go on into IT sector, they should be most probably someone, it can be also men, but preferably women that are working in technical sector already in their respective countries, because our countries are quite different in the if you talk about careers and the way you can educate yourself further with in IT. So I think it's better to have, if it's in Norwegian or girls living in Norway, to have mentors that also live and work in Norway, because they will help them how to do it in Norway. Or if we talk about Spain, there's also the same Spanish thing, Spanish reality. We have several organizations in Norway, I've talked about for Norway, that have these ladies and younger ladies, or maybe older, that work in IT, and they have working as mentors. So we are going to contact them and we'll see how we can cooperate. That was the
Yeah, I think that this answers my question. So, Jenny, Fiona, I think maybe you had some questions.
Yeah, I was looking now at their project, so I could understand this. Is it a project to teach women information technology skills and knowledge? Is this the project about? Creating lessons, online lessons or offline lessons, so women are getting familiarized with information technology, IT skills.
Partly, but not. That's not like the main idea. Of course, to make them go this way, they need first to get information, get interested in that. But actually, the idea is to help them not only to get the interest, but to go further than that, to get knowledge, but also to want to study further or to get a job in this sector where women are underrepresented. Of course, we all know about that.
So they first acquire the skills, they are certified about these skills, and then of course they can use them in their professional life. Is that?
Yes, it's more or less like that. Yeah, they're getting the skills, then they get help from mentors, either while they're studying or a little bit in the end of their studies. It all depends. This is not like yet quite clear. which way to go further in the country we're living in or want to move to, but normally Norway, for example, so they can actually get a job or a good education in this sphere. So not just to learn something, but preferably something that can lead to education or a job in the future.
And these skills are about, for example, using the Word or the PowerPoint, or actually building a website, let's say, learning computer languages, let's say.
Yeah, it's more about learning computer languages, right? It's more this type, yeah, learning programming and yeah, making websites, if you say, or applications. Yeah, this type of computer knowledge. Yeah, when you yeah.
So it's actually a vocational college, something, a school, a vocational school for these women.
Maybe you can call it a school. If we're going to use the existing courses or online courses, for example, yeah, from other schools, yeah, not our own courses, so to say. Yeah, but it's education year anyway. Yeah, I agree. But
Vocation.
with more with yeah, yeah.
And you are certified teachers, let's say, of this sector.
Well, no, we are not, I'm not a certified teacher of this sector, no, and but since we're not giving them the certification, like official education certifications, we're giving them the in-pass into the field. Then we are not like, we're not discussing this, that we need to be certified or we need to look for certified teachers in the sector.
I am a teacher. That's why I'm not.
I understand. I'm also a teacher, but not in computers originally.
Not in computers.
No, I'm personally a teacher, but not like this. But I understand why you're asking that. Yeah, it's important.
Who is gonna build these this educational content?
I think that Lorena is going to be responsible mostly for that because she has this technical education. Oh, computer, yeah. Lorena in Spain.
Who is her profession?
Yeah, she's a professional in the field, right?
In this field.
Yes.
I'm telling you this because I discussed that in our previous hangout. There are some European funding programs on lifelong education with the name Erasmus+. Are you aware of these funding programs?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know about Erasmus+.
European Erasmus+ funding programs give funding when there is a proposal to create educational content, especially for IT skills.
Okay.
These are Key Action 2. If you go to your Erasmus+ national agency website and you look at Key Action 2,
okay.
It's talking about a strategic partnership on creating innovation projects. And if you write a proposal suggesting that you are going to build educational content on an e-platform, on an open source, let's say Moodle, open platform, and you're gonna build, they actually pay for the time, the work days that you are gonna need to provide this educational content. Of course, the people that are gonna write, that are gonna provide this educational project should be experts. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I see.
This way you overcome the mentor problem because it's not for free. Then you create the content, you create the educational content by being paid by the European Union by day.
Okay. Yeah, sounds an interesting thing to investigate, at least to look into.
Yes, look at Erasmus+. We are participating right now in Key Action 2, and we are creating. Yes, and we are creating. I'm an English teacher, and I specialize in maritime English, and we are creating courses for maritime officers for their English, and we create them in open sources, and all this is paid. All this work we are doing is paid by European Union, by Erasmus Plus.
Sounds very good.
Okay, I'm gonna send you one website for that we have created, a course that we have on maritime English that we have created using this money from European Union, 5 countries. And but you have to conduct your Erasmus Plus in your country or in Spain or any of your partners that you are going to submit the proposal. The proposal is open in February, and they have a deadline. They have a deadline in March, something like that. But I think that you can find already a proposal in your national agency.
Yeah, I will check it. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Whatever, if you have questions, contact me.
Yes. Now I know. Very good.
Okay, so I would have one question, Vanessa. You were saying that you will be also providing, let's say, these courses, IT courses. So will you be providing them, or will you be using something that already exists, maybe another platform that already exists for the material? And are you going to concentrate more on the mentoring after the learning, or are you going to concentrate on actually educating those women in IT?
I think that we should, or I would like to concentrate more on mentoring, but it all depends, of course, on these girls. Some of them maybe will need a little bit more education in the beginning, courses. Again, open courses, I think it's a good idea because there's there are a lot of good courses and platforms existing already. So there's no point to invent the bicycle again. Actually, like that. Maybe they need to be adjusted or maybe selected, depending on what you need and what is more maybe suitable, but not inventing them from scratch like that. But mostly mentoring, yeah.
Okay, and another thing I was wondering about. So you said you're going to adjust your idea to Norway, and Lorena is going to adjust the idea to Spain. But did you think of the option of actually having something that's more internationally available?
Yes, this was also. Yes, there's also an idea, and we were also thinking that we definitely should use the potential that we are international. So to use this resource that is there already, not to just go parallel like that all the time. In some cases, but it's absolutely worth it. It's always worth it using the international potential. But I don't know any other examples that are like proving otherwise. If you are starting a company alone, for example, only in Norwegian or Spain, it's also good. But if you can make it international, even better. It works every time. So of course, yes. It's but how exactly this is going to be like internationalization, if you can call it. This is like, it's a good idea. We'll write it down to think about it. We haven't discussed it like that much, but yeah. It sounds like really.
I thought about that just because you said something about using an online platform. So by using an online platform, it's easier to reach people internationally.
Yes, like that, yeah. But also the thing is, if the ultimate goal, the final goal in the end, of course, for people getting education or jobs, you need to know where they want to get their jobs or their educations, and then we come to the local solutions in some situations, like because the situation in Norway again, of course, is different from Spain. But we're becoming global, so there are more and more similar things. So yeah.
I just wanted to share an example of a physical community that is called Make Sense. I don't know if you have heard about them. They are supporting social entrepreneurs with their challenges, and so in some sense they are a little bit like Babele. But the big difference between us and them is that they are physical. When they support the entrepreneurs, is that they bring a bunch of people, 20 people, all together in one room. They have the entrepreneur being there and saying his challenge, and then they work during 2 hours, all physically in that room, in order to support the entrepreneur. Instead of doing it online, they're doing it physically, and they have the first workshop they have created it 4 years ago, and now they have a community in 100 countries. So this is the international element where they have spread the enthusiasm about the methodology. So people all around the world adopted it, and they have just very cool names. For the person organizing the workshop, he's a gangster and he's organizing hold-ups, and it's just like open sourcing the methodology. So I think that's a very interesting example where you could get inspired, because in your concrete case, if I understood well, there are already online platforms. So it's more about the physical mentoring of the girls and yeah, being there with them and accompanying them during the studies. So you could think about a nice language and creating the enthusiasm about these kind of groups and workshops that could then be internationally expanded.
Are you still there, guys? Did you hear everything that Sandra said?
The connection was lost for some seconds, but if she could provide the link of in the comments of this organization, that would be very helpful, I think.
Okay, and how about you, Lena? Did you understand?
Yes, I heard about the organization, but of course it's interesting to check it. Yeah, absolutely. About the physical communities, because again, with our experience that everything online things are okay, but people need physical meetings, and it's good to combine both things. So it can be a good idea to check.
Okay, so maybe you have something else you want to talk about regarding the challenges that you had, maybe something related to the Pentagrowth model. So maybe in case you have the time to check out the videos with our previous calls, we talked about two of the levers, about the empower one, about the enable one. Maybe I don't know. You thought about how you can apply those levers to Girls Code?
You want me to talk about yeah, so I heard you right. You want me to talk about enable and empower.
Yeah, the
right?
one about empower was related to just a user.
Mm. Mm-hmm. I just hello.
I think Raluca is without battery. So she was talking about the number of roles that the user can play within Girls Code. And I think you answered to this question more or less. It was about, okay, the girls that were mentored, they can become mentor on their side as well after they
Yes.
So in this case, you would play two different roles while they are growing afterwards.
Yes, yes, this was one of the ideas from the very beginning that we were thinking about it, that it can be a good idea, because especially if the girls are happy with the course or mentoring, they are one of the best ambassadors further, because they've been there and they liked it, yeah, and why not, if someone wants to, feels like it, to become a mentor on some lower levels or some simple things, I think it should be encouraged anyway.
Okay. Fiona, I don't know if you heard us in the last time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask or intervene. Otherwise, what I would like to share with you is we had a call yesterday with Gabriela from Pentagrowth, and so we were discussing about how the mentoring will continue. So there is one last video that should have been shared this week, and I believe it will be shared at the beginning of next week. But what we discussed, it was once the whole vision of each of the levers is shared and you have the time to think about it, we will ask you to assess your own company on each of these levers and think about where it is now, where it should get, what you can work with. And then there is on the, I think we lost Fiona as well. On the 25th of November, we are going to organize a workshop also with the consultants of Pentagrowth in order to think about concrete solutions at each of, concerning each of these aspects. They have also 3 models that they want to share of marketplaces and service providers that could be useful as a model for each of the businesses that you have. So one of the tasks that would be asked during the next weeks is going to think about the challenges that you have, and this is a task in itself. You know, how concretely to define them in order to find support. So I would really like, if possible, to think about this during the following days and try to define 1 to 3 challenges that you have to work on. I know we talked with Jenny about the costs and costs of development. That's a concrete challenge that you have. It would be interesting for each of the other businesses like Earth Code and Meds for All and Mobilize to think about them, and to have them as concrete as possible, defined in your mind so that we can discuss them.
Okay. Do I have to say something about that? Yeah, I will need to check if we can 25th of November, but and do we have to present these visions on our platform?
In which sense, visions?
You said to go, if I understood you correctly, you said to go through each lever and check where we are. Do we have to write something then on this community for everyone?
So if you don't want to share it with everyone, you're not forced to. I think it's a good exercise for you, you know, to see based on each of the levers where you are and where you want to get.
No, absolutely want to share. That's not that's not the issue, but I just wanted to know so how to use time and fit it in their other things. So if we need to write it, then we need to discuss and put it in a good format.
So it's going to be asked, but not now. It's in the following 2 weeks, so you have time to get organized.
Good.
Jenny, do you have anything? A question?
No question. We have already discussed its lever, and in our hangouts, we were privileged to have already done that previously. All these levers are valuable, and it is a good thing to think how it can be incorporated in our projects and what challenges we meet while trying to incorporate them, because it's not easy, and especially when you are in the beginning and when you have just to in the beginning to create the minimum viable product. It's very difficult to cut costs, and sometimes these levers have to be sacrificed. So now that you said that we can plan how we can integrate them in the future, that would be easier, of course. Right now, it's quite difficult to integrate, although they are, all of them are very valuable, and plus they need a lot of time to think, to get inspired by what the others have already done and how they have integrated, and and they were benefited by their integration, and come up with an idea that helps you to integrate them in the same beneficial way. Right.
Exactly. So the whole concept, it's about the mindset. It's not about doing them right now. It's about understanding what are the possibilities. It's not about expanding each and taking the maximum on each level. It's concretely for each and every one when it's the right moment and how you can benefit from it. For example, concrete example for Girls Code, we talk about different roles that the users can play, and you mentioned the fact that they can become mentor on their side as well, but it's not from the very first day. They are going to become mentor probably in 3 years after they have reached a certain oh, maybe I'm too negative. I don't know. Maybe it's not 3 years. Maybe it's just 1 year. But it's not straight away. So this is why it's good to know, to have it in the mind. They can play different roles, and this is how I can leverage on how people interact, and how I can grow faster, because it's hard to get mentors. And like this, I have already mentors within my pool. But it's yeah, a question about the mindset.
Yes, as you said about mentors, I think there's also different types of mentors, because we're talking about professionals, like have been women or men working in the industry with good jobs or businesses. They provide another type of mentoring than, for example, these girls that we will be teaching. But it's okay that different people have different roles, I think, right?
It's more than okay. It's needed.
Sorry, first of all, sorry for disappearing like that. Apparently, my laptop overheated. Maybe, at some point, Lena, your users, the ones that you are mentoring at the beginning, maybe at some point they can also become mentors for the next, let's say, generations of people that you will be mentoring, because they will be setting an example. So you have mentored a person, and that person can later on become one of your mentors. I mean, one of the mentors for the new people coming on board.
Yeah, this is basically the idea, especially in the beginning, and especially knowing that it's not so easy to get mentors, because the most valuable mentors are normally the most busy people. So they normally don't have a lot of time to give to others. Yeah, very little. So, and if you have a lot of girls and you need mentors for all of them, yeah, then you need to use other strategies to get enough of mentors, so to say.
Yeah, okay, so is there any thoughts that any of you would like to share?
I wanted to ask about this last level, empower, because we haven't yet posted anything from our side on Babel about that, but we were thinking about that. So I was thinking, if I understand it correctly, this is like something that, yeah, if we talk about our case, girls can use further to either like develop their own business, for example, yeah, or to take it further somewhere somehow. So we give them some type of power, and I'm not so sure what type of yeah, we give them knowledge and network, but what exactly? It's like not like Facebook, the people use on the Facebook platform to do their businesses. That's like empowering, or some other type of businesses that also were examples. So it's, yeah, we're still in thinking process. I'm not quite sure how we can empower them.
Yeah,
Correct.
so this empower, it's about you interacting with other actors, partners, and yeah, building up on what you do and not doing it alone, co-creating with others. And there are many different levels. And so they give the example of about building apps inside Apple, for example, on iOS, or the, but concretely for Girls Code, I understood how I would see it. It's, for example, you building up on others, and this is, I see it also for Wild Crowd. Instead inventing this wheel, you building up on what there is already existing there. So, for example, not recreating a class on teaching girls how to code if there is something about coding there, but adapting it and doing mentoring in class. What I would say against myself as a criticism is that, yeah, if I can say that, it's the fact that this answer that I just gave you, it's good about thinking in a co-creation level, but it's, I don't think, not the whole empowerment of, not empowerment, but the whole possibilities of the model. Because Pentagrowth is saying, how can I reach maximum growth? And if I'm building upon something that is already existing, this that is already existing, it needs to help me grow faster. So I need to choose the partner that would enable me to grow faster. In this case, if I'm building upon that partner. I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying. But for example, I don't have in mind concretely right now an example of already existing classes, but I don't know, how is it called? Code Academy, or I don't know, code.org or stuff like that. Choose the one that is growing faster and make them promote also, for example, your physical workshops while they are doing this, and this will enable you to grow. It's not, so I didn't see it as you enabling the girls to do a service upon that, but you can think about that as well. It's all about creativity. We were talking earlier with Jenny. She was saying, we can do something with Babele. That's also something where you build upon something existing.
That's how I was thinking actually about empowerment, that no, we are empowering someone, but okay, thank you that you gave me also this another perspective, that we also empower ourselves, interacting with partners that can help us grow faster. Thank you for that.
Okay, so we are also expecting the new video from Ideas from Change, from Gabriela, the one with the shared knowledge. We didn't yet have the video for that level. I was hoping to get it today, but I haven't received it yet. So hoping on Monday we will have it, and we'll share it, of course, with you on the Babele platform in the community. And also we'll share this video as Yeni suggested. Very good idea. So anything else you would like to add? Or any questions you may have?
We were about to discuss the combination of the levers today. Of course, we had to be filled in with all the information from Lena because she joined for first time today. Is this combination of the levers are going to be discussed in our next meetings? You remember last time we had discussed that it's the second phase after being introduced to each lever individually. Then we will discuss how two of them being combined could give a major boost, let's say, to our marketing strategy.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. So as there is still one video about one of the levers, we are doing this before, and then we discuss the combination, and this will be especially done during the workshop on the 25th with the consultants from Pentagrowth, because they have the expertise.
Okay.
Okay, in this case, I would say thank you very much. Let's, yeah, I think it would be a great exercise for those of us who didn't do it. I think we didn't do it either. To write on Babele how we imagine the Empower, and the share once the video will be online as well. And then have an exercise on the challenges and think about them as well. And then discuss next week.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this will be it for today. So as Ruxandra said, we are expecting your comments also on the Babele community. This way we can actually have all the ideas centralized. And yeah, we'll get back to you with a new Pentagrowth video, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.